This is just a quick video to show you some of the things that artists like Noisia and Mefjus do to create that modern drum and bass Neuro sound design aesthetic. It's important to note this is just one of many things, so the arrangement, the artistry, the production are just as important. And I'm not going to give you a specific recipe or patch, but it should be a jumping off point to make your own sounds. I'm using Serum 1 because I prefer it. You can use any synth you like. Just make sure you switch it to mono, rand down, so that the wave cycle starts from the same point each time. We don't want the sound to be different every time we play a note. Now, lots of these sounds you'll hear are actually quite simple. They're just based around getting a harmonically rich wave. So I'm using a sawtooth here, using notches and bandpass filters and moving those. And the movement and the interaction between those two is what makes the sound. So if we add a notch, and then we add another notch. I hope you can sort of hear that coming together already, just with two filters. I'm going to switch key tracking on here. This is just so this stays relatively in the same place depending on the note we play. If we want the sort of Reese sound, we can add another oscillator, detune them like we would normally. And then I'm going to add an OTT. I'm going to back it off because we're already doing quite severe filtering, so we don't want to go too far. I'll add a distortion in between the filters. The movement and interaction of these two filters is what will make the sound. The problem is there's not really a method for this. You just have to play around with them and try. So I'm going to use an envelope to move this one. And maybe I'll use an LFO to move this one. Something else that will get you in that sort of realm is using pitch modulation. This will give you a thump or a drop at the beginning. I'm going to use this envelope and put it on the coarse pitch control. I don't know if you'll need to do it depending on what synth you're doing. I'm going to make it monopolar. I want it to go from where it's meant to be up and then back down to where it's meant to be. So I want here to be 0. That's what this does. Now, the faster you make this, the more kick-like it'll be. The slower, the more like an 808 drop it'll be. Now, this is also the same sort of method used to make a stab. So if I change this LFO for one of the envelopes and make the sound shorter, you need to play around with the centers and work out where it sounds good. You can also try other filter types. So these phaser types here are just multiple notches. Something else to make the sound more interesting, you can add in noise. And I'm sure you've seen people doing this, but convolution's really helpful here. This is like how convolution reverbs work. You let out a click or a white noise burst and record what comes back in a room or something. And you can then apply that transformation to other sounds. But you don't have to do it with rooms and reverbs. You can do it with objects. And so this is M Convolution by Melda Production. It's free. And this comes with some objects I'm going to back this off. It's quite extreme. If we use this convolution with our Reese sound, if I So something else, just in case you didn't know, if you get a plain sine wave and some noise, I've turned my convolution off. If you distort these together, you'll end up with a hairy sort of sub sound that's used quite a lot in these genres. And combine this with the pitch envelope like we did earlier. But yeah, there's just a few ideas. Have a go yourself and see what you come up with.